was a bit of a bummer that we weren't able to play one of the biggest games of E3 2014, Metal Gear Solid 5: The Phantom Pain, but at least the blow was softened by a very in-depth 20-minute presentation of a search and rescue mission that showed off the open world nature of the game and highlighted several gameplay features new to MGS5. The demonstration that we saw covered a lot of what we had already seen in the E3 2013 trailer. It starts out with Snake riding with Ocelot in Afghanistan with the mission of rescuing his right-hand man, Kazuhira Miller, better known as Kaz. Kaz has been captured by the Soviets and is being interrogated at one of their outposts in Afghanistan. After a few words of encouragement from Ocelot, who is now voiced by Troy Baker by the way, Snake is on his own to figure out his own path to his objective in a huge open world that stretches as far as the eye can see. So first, let's go over some of the stuff that we've already known. First, Metal Gear Solid 5 is apparently 200 times larger than its prologue, Ground Zeroes. There's also a real-time weather system at play, which, in the desert, pretty much just means sandstorms will kick up. Or at least that's all it means as far as we know right now. There's also realistic passage of time, day will turn to night, night will turn to day, you can hang from horses, and you can also use an electronic cigarette in your item menu to speed up time in case you wanted to wait for a specific time of day to do something. One thing that you might not know, and one thing that was a focal point of the E3 presentation, is that the Fulton recovery system from Peace Walker makes a return. After knocking out an enemy, you can attach a Fulton recovery balloon to them and send them back to Mother Base, at which point one can only assume that some sort of brainwashing takes place because they then become your loyal soldiers and can be tasked with various helpful duties in the field. For example, at one point during the demo, the player used his iDroid to call in a recon team made up of soldiers he had Fultoned earlier. The recon team infiltrated an enemy encampment and then marked red circles on Snake's map to let him know the approximate locations of enemies. From there, Snake could use his binoculars to mark each one of them so their movements would be tracked even if Snake loses line of sight. You can also place recruited soldiers onto an R&D team and then use them to call in air supply drops to restock Snake on the battlefield. Or you can even place the drop right on top of an enemy and knock them out. In addition to enemy guards, you can also use the Fulton recovery balloons on pretty much anything that's not bolted down, including cargo crates, which you can even stand on top of and Fulton yourself back to Mother Base to abort the mission, artillery, which can be placed at Mother Base and used to defend it, or even animals, which, well,